Common law. The concept of common law started in England over 500 years ago in a document called the Great Charter, i.e., the Magna Carta. From the Magna Carta sprang the American Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, one of the greatest documents ever written, only overshadowed by the fact that they never freed the black man when they wrote it. That's the only thing that makes that document imperfect. Other than that, it's a perfect document. Uh, I don't know whether they kind of wrote around it when they wrote the Canadian Constitution and that. Uh, but even that, they, uh, they talk about our rights, like every individual is equal before and under the law and has the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law without discrimination, and in particular without discrimination based on race, ethnic, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, sex, or or physical disability. Well, injured workers have a physical disability, and let me tell you, we're being discriminated against. Uh, Enforcement. Anyone whose rights or freedoms as guaranteed by the Charter have been infringed or denied may apply to a court of competent jurisdiction to obtain such a remedy as the court considers appropriate and just in the circumstances. Well, I challenge you, because the mere existence of the Administrative Tribunals Appeals Act is denying you your common law rights. Where in proceedings under subsection 1, a court concludes the evidence was obtained in a manner that infringed or denied any rights or freedom guaranteed by this charter, the evidence shall be excluded if it is established that, having regard to all the circumstances, the admission of it in the proceedings would bring the administration of justice into disrepute. Again, I think the mere existence of the Administrative Tribunals Act does bring the justice system into disrepute, because they don't have to apply common law, even though they can have you charged and in prison for contempt of court. They don't have to bring common law. It doesn't have to be legal what they bring in. It says so right in their act. They can deny you a representation at this appeals board. Your intervener or your lawyer may or may not be allowed in. It's up to their discretion to let them in. These people have rewritten history. The fundamental principle of common law has been in existence for over 600 years. It's been used in the distribution of justice in all the civilized countries of the world. Yet these people have just stroked it out with a pen, and they can do anything they damn well feel like. You don't even have the right to publicize what they write about you. They don't have to. They can write anything down, and they don't have to provide you with copies of what they've written. You don't have the right to a medical exam by a doctor anymore. A medical panel. At one time, you used to be able to file for a medical review, and you could go before a panel of doctors, and they'd look at your case and adjudicate it. You don't have that anymore. They took that away. They have closed the door on common justice. or common law, I should say, in this country because of this act. Everyone who's ever fought for justice and the freedom of others is crying out from the grave on this one. It is just so pathetic and sickening. I mean, and it's not the fact that if you filed for a judicial appeal that it would save you or anything, because that also had to be changed. Because it only gives the judge the right to look at the case, and if he deemed it necessary to send it back to WCB. But in the charter, it states that anything that is not right could be gotten right, could be rejudged, and it should be rejudged. If something isn't just, why would you send it back to the person that first put it out? And you're a judge. I believe a Supreme Court judge should have the right to overthrow WCB decisions, and they should, by law, have to follow it. But they don't. They regularly ignore Supreme Court rulings and get away with it. This is how much power these people got. I mean, that takes power. Can you imagine how much power it takes to thumb your nose at a Supreme Court judge? I mean, there is no higher court in the land. This is the highest of the high. And these people just regularly, they just, oh, piece of shit. We don't need to pay attention to what that idiot says. When are we going to stand up and say enough's enough? We have to get rid of these people. They have to be done away with. It's time to close the WCB down. It's either close them down or they submit to reform and make it a no-fault system again. And I would put it to the employers, which would you like? A reform system where it's a no-fault system and the injured workers are being looked after? Or would you like to go back to the tort system? That's how I would put it to them. How do you want it? And I wouldn't give WCB any say in the matter. You're going to get what you get, so sit there and shut up. Because you've been denying justice to others for so long, it's about time you got a little of your own. But we can't find any government that's willing to do this. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. I don't think young workers should go on these construction jobs because they don't have any protection. They're just victims waiting to happen. And I would counsel any father that has a son to keep him to hell away from construction. That's what I would counsel him. There is no future in the trades. Not with the way things are going. They have basically wiped out the construction industry in this country at the behest of the employer, Dave Winters, the lawyer, and the big business, basically. And it's all about money. But sooner or later, the public's going to have enough. I talk to a lot of people, and when I get on the subject, I talk about WCB and that, and I fill them in, the public. They don't know what's going on. Most people just don't have a clue. But they go away and they have an idea of what's going on, and then they have the opportunity to look for themselves. That's what you have to do. You have to educate. Education is the key to all this. It just is. The more people that know what they're up against, the better off they can be. Well, I guess that's it for another one.